Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. And it's Monday, it's May the 2nd. We're starting another new month. So this year has really flown by. It seemed like just yesterday that we were starting a new year, and now we're starting a fifth new month. So time just really seems to go by quickly. So, but nice trend up today. It's more of a neutral type trend, at least until after about lunchtime. After about lunchtime, that's a pretty much all up, so I wouldn't be doing any shorting at that point. But prior to that, we're swinging back and forth above the EMA. You can see we really got flat right in here. We really went kind of sideways. We had a break of our trend channel and then a move to a new high. And what was a little different was prices never came off the upper side of the trend channel. I believe what we really had was your trend is just a little bit lower maybe than what we originally thought. And we just had a little overshoot here in the overnight, then overshoot again in the afternoon. So that's the way I would look at it. But I was really looking for it fits perfectly there, and maybe it is there. Maybe we just couldn't get there earlier. But if you look at what we've got here, I would say most people were playing the line across here. So that's what really matters in the end. We had this first move up and then a two-legged correction. So from here, I was looking for a measured move, and you can see that. And one thing I've noticed we get a lot is a lot of times if you have these big stems, if you just kind of use the closes, you notice it's much more accurate there. It's almost to the tick there, and we couldn't push higher really because if the trend line's there. So we still didn't quite get it. We made that move and then headed down, but that's pretty close, and we didn't go much higher than that till really late in the afternoon. So, um, but that's just something to think about. I generally will measure the whole thing because you're going to get closer that way in most instances. But you notice we just didn't get there. So, but that's what I was looking for, either that or reaching the upper trend line. And if you had this one up here, then uh, that was possible, but it still didn't turn out that way. So we still couldn't get there, and we turned down. Really, what it is, we just were finding a lot of resistance across this level. So, but you can see the trend working up there very clearly. So let's back out a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. I forget to do that sometimes, and talk about the trades. First trade I saw, really, when I came in, we were just kind of going sideways here, and there's no long here, and you could have considered a short right here. Um, it's a good bit away from the EMA. It is a little failed break higher, so it probably should be green, but I didn't think it was worth risking that early in the morning. I figured just wait and let's see if we get another little trap, and we did. It tried to go higher right here, then it turns down, very bearish. There's enough room to get out before here in the EMA. Doesn't matter, it pushes on through. Then you get another pull back here, and you get a move to a new low. It's really tempting to go short here, but a lot of times right at the open you'll get these, uh, you'll get these fake outs and traps and things. If you went short here, there's nothing you could do except exit. But by the time this bar is finished, it did. It actually went out the upper side first and then turned and went right out the other side. And a lot of times I will like that setup. So if you did go short here, um, your only option is to reverse. And it does look like a trap, but really the trap is to the short side because I really thought prices would come down here. So this one's real tempting, but this I would call your signal bar. And it's just so big, and you don't want to go short right at the very low. When you really got support right across there. And that's what happened. We hit that last support and bounced. You don't want to go long there either. So, I mean, earlier I had this just a little bit higher there, but even then you still really get a close outside here. So, but I believe it's more like that. And then you get an option for a short here. Notice that we've got a double top, and this is just another test of it. And if you use those closes right there, we closed underneath that again, you get a nice bearish bar. You're a little piece away from the EMA just in case it bounces. And notice how it's tried to bounce, but then it pushes on through. head to the other side. And then this is a new swing high. Notice it's higher than that swing. Pull down, first entry, pull down. We get a second entry long right off the suspected trend line. A nice bullish reversal bar. We're a good bit away from the EMA. That's an easy trade. No, yeah, just a nice setup right there. And if you drew your trend line down here, you really don't need one because this is the break of this one, so you're looking for a new low, but you can still see it still plays out. You get a break, move to a new low, bounces. This one's really tempting. There's actually notice that you got a break and a new low, and you just came off, and this is coming off this low end too, and it is a second entry. Notice the new high, pullback first entry. So really you could go long there. I didn't mark that one. I thought we were better off to wait and see if we got something different, because we didn't make it back to the highs here, so there's a chance we overshoot it. But you could have entered there. I don't think you want to enter on this one. It's a very bearish bar, but when it turns down again right there, that's a failed second entry short, another bounce off that trend line. I like that one. And then when it turns back down again and you make another higher low, I really like that one. So because this is a double bottom, you can consider that another failed second entry short. And this one takes off pretty quickly here. So, and we actually pushed through this time. And notice what happens. You get an overshoot here. You get a failed second entry long that fails. You're a little bit away from the EMA. Just go short there. And then you get another second entry. This is actually a second entry on a smaller level because you got a low first entry, pullback second entry. You don't see it on this chart, but on a smaller chart there is a second entry. But I just like how bearish that is. It's the first break of that. It is two swings. One move up, pull back, second move up. Just go short right there. That's a quick, easy move. And then again, it bounces. All right, look, you got your break, move to a new low. Nice bullish bar. It looks almost similar to what we had over here. It's like a repeat pattern almost. Go long. You don't ever get another chance to get in there. There's a little lower high here, so that technically that's a second entry. But look how that's all kind of going sideways, and we're not really making higher lows there, so I would just skip that one. It moves up, we get a break, we get a first entry, we get a pullback, we get a second entry, but that's not a great setup. We are looking for a new high, but I think you want a better setup than that. You might have let it break above this one and drop it in for a limit order, and if you were to follow it like that and find a way you could get in there much better, then I might say, hey, I'd take that one. But I don't think you would have gotten filled more than right there at the high, and I just wouldn't. And if you did, if you got filled more than a tick back in, you were able to get out of that one, I believe. Just looking at it, I didn't do the math on it, but so I'll give it a green one based on that. But it's two legs up, and then it turns back down. I like that one. There's actually a little trend line right up through there as well. I don't have on there, but it comes back down, and it kind of looks like we're going sideways again. We bounced down here. If prices would have went down and went all the way up and went out the other side here, I probably would have liked going long there. But I think you just need to wait. And then you never really get a good setup down here. And the fact that we came up short again here really leads me to believe we're going to get a break. So you need to wait on a better setup. There's a failed second entry short here and a little breakout pullback long type entry. Again, this is one where I'm going to make it green. When it broke higher there, if you dropped a limit order in and maybe got a little better entry, which you could have here, I'm okay with that one. But when it pulled back here and it held on that trend line and it held on this trend line, that confirmed this shorter term trend line and gave you a nice bullish bar. I like that one. You had to be concerned that there's no break of this line yet. So this one, but when you've turned down that many times and you've got a bigger pattern in play, hey, there's a good chance you're going to go higher here. So I still like that one. It's real close to it being green as well, but I'm going to leave that one blue just simply because you got this trend line and you do have the break, and multiple times you tried to go lower and you're making lower highs or I'm sorry, higher highs and higher lows every time here. That's a trend up. And when you confirmed this trend line, I felt pretty good about at least going a little higher here. At least back up to these highs. You don't know this is going to take off like that. But I don't see any other decent entries. There's a first entry long here, just a kind of a neutral bar. And of course, we do get a break. But there's your first break, and you got a new high. You pull back, you got a first entry. You pull back, you got a second entry. And it actually went lower first and turned and went out that upside. But I still would use that as my signal bar and put my stop right there. Or you might let it break higher and put your limit order right here where the original stop would have when it went higher. And if you did that, it still would have worked. And that got you into the 2 o'clock hour. So it's just kind of a meandering day that just continued to meander upwards. Again, it's really fairly neutral and flat across here, but you can see this trend line is still in play and it's working. It doesn't look, it's hard to realize what's going on up here, but I believe it's like that right there. And we just had a couple of overshoots of it. So, but that's what I saw. Back out again where you can see the bigger picture. And you can see we're steadily making higher highs and higher lows till right in here. We just kind of were going sideways here, and we were inside these highs and lows. And so you had to be a little more careful in here. There's a couple of trades. A couple of them are iffy, but for the most part, you're better off just kind of sitting tight in here. And the only reason I like that one is because it's a failed second entry short. Notice the pullback first entry, pullback second entry, and it fails. And I don't like the second entry long either because there's a little double top and it's right into it. But so it's, let me go ahead and draw the line. I think I forgot to mention that earlier. You can see like it's a little failed break higher and then it turns down. So it's a better short opportunity than it is a long. So you might have, like I said, when it broke higher, you could have used a limit order in there, maybe. But for the most part, I'd skip that trade. And really, not much else to talk about today. That's what we're looking at, mostly uphill with a neutral slant. The way I would describe this is neutral to slightly bullish. Until here. Once we started here, this is fairly bullish move right there. Notice how we continued to go higher and got an overshoot. So, but for the most part, it was just fairly neutral to bullish. Slightly neutral to slightly bullish until here, then it was kind of bullish. So, but not much else we can say about today. It's 5 o'clock, so I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm a little later doing them. I'm trying to do these around just after 3 o'clock now. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.